Bing. Town Michael again, project scope. So, why didn't that screen share button work? Oh, it's Firefox because it puts the screen share behind the window I'm on. That's handy. Okay. So, any developments while I was away?
I picked up additional figures.
Oh, yeah.
Extremely important.
What kind of figures did you pick up? Oh, well, right. I was thinking numbers. Oh, you mean X-Men figures?
Not X-Men.
Oh.
Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
Figures. They dropped in price a lot on Amazon. $11 area.
Cool.
Picked up half the set for $36.
Cool.
Iron Man, Nuke, and Red Guardian.
Oh, that's Civil War. Sorry, I was thinking of like the American Civil War. You mean Captain America? No, right, because I was thinking Iron Man wasn't in the American Civil War, but oh yes, obviously Captain America Civil War. Yes, indeed.
Captain America's at 13, so I'm waiting for him to drop.
Right. Okay, so boom. I've got to just open a new ticket here. But anyway, do you want to drive on the next step?
Sure. I'm waiting for some of the X-Men to drop in price on the new set.
Sure.
At 13 now, they'll probably get down to a 10 or 11.
Well, yeah, you obviously want to get the complete set.
Of course.
Okay. But yeah, do you want to just like, I guess, should we now?
All right, let me.
What should we do? I guess the next thing actually would be we should deploy. Where are we with the branches? What have we got now? We've got the pull request. Oh, right. So we've got a pull request now that has some tests in it. It says.
I checked it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we could merge this in now.
I would do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's. I just quickly. So we've added gem, the rank file. Those. Interesting. The Slack trends has increased there. I think that's why. We got some different values there. It maybe pulled in some additional Slack trend stuff that we hadn't before. Maybe anyway. Yeah. Edit project with config. I guess right. These are things that like weren't in his branch. Why would that be there? Okay. This is we're merging it. Okay. Wait a sec. But so he's doing the merge into master rather than into staging.
Right.
Can we? And I think the thing here is we can't change that. Right. I think probably the thing to do is let's just merge it into we don't actually have like a production thing that other people are using yet. So, to save the time of like redoing that, let's just get that into master. So that actually merges staging everything. We've got everything into master then, hopefully. I guess we would now need to pull origin master. We would now need to pull it out. There, let's just make sure that things are green locally. And then, so now staging is actually behind. If I rebase to master, so we end up with conflicts. The thing is that basically, if the base goes fine, then it's great. But
yeah.
Do I have? How do I get out of the? Is that because I had changes on? I want to git rebase abort. That's it. Abort. Yeah, no, I don't have anything there. So, like, basically, if it's going to end up being difficult, it feels like generally, if I merge master there, it'll create a new commit, but then I don't get any conflicts, and it's sort of like, yeah, we'll just push that. That'll get squashed. I guess it won't get squashed. We'll end up with a whatever. Not ideal for the history, but it's like, is it worth it? So git push origin staging.
Right.
And that merge there, that should mean that your staging branch shouldn't have to be deleted or what have you. Okay, so in principle now, maybe the sensible next step would be to, I mean, I think, what have we got here? Git push staging master. Might as well push that master branch to staging, and I can check that out in the background. Do you want to take the master and create a new Heroku instance and push to that and go through the setup process?
I guess.
I mean, and I know that's not necessarily like the most exciting thing in the universe to do. I mean, what I'm thinking is that we want to get something like, I don't know, project scope CS169 full 2016.
We didn't put it behind, you know, the index too.
We did not, but I think that I mean, we could do that first, but it would be. I'm thinking that we have to do this anyway.
Okay, so what is this going to be, an Agile Ventures app?
Yeah, I mean, you can create it under your own thing and then transfer ownership or what have you. I mean, I could go ahead and create it if you want, if that's.
I think I can do that.
Yeah,
limited right now.
Yeah.
And what are we calling this?
I would call it. I mean, I guess actually Armando, he kind of wants projects to continue from year to year. So let's just call it, let's remove the date from it and just call it project scope CS169. Because that's the Berkeley. Should I put a Berkeley in there as well?
CS169 is available.
Yeah.
And choose United States region, obviously.
Yeah. So I guess I'm just, so like the process of deploying it, I mean, there's documentation from Armando about how to deploy it in the README that I guess like it would be good for us to make sure that's correct and work out what, make sure whatever else like you find yourself having to do as part of it should also go into the README.
Okay. Well,
and go on.
Okay. Go on.
And I was just gonna like make the little scratch note here of one. I guess there's, I mean, we've done it. Then there's like deploy and check.
Just have a proc file. It does, right?
I think it does. Does it have a proc file? I don't see a proc file.
But I think it is. Heroku's smart enough with the
Yeah. So the thing that we've just merged from JAL is this rake task, which can allow us to set up a scheduled job, which I could kind of do in parallel while you were doing this. Like having got this deployed, so there's kind of a split there. I mean, you may be less interested in that. That's like often with these things, like I would love this to be completely trivial, but I'm being conservative in terms of, right, we've made this one change. Let's get out there and check that we can get the scheduled job thing working. And then we've got, right, can we have full HTTP auth on all things on it? Again, a relatively trivial change, but there's associated tests. I mean, then there's this thing of like, actually, I'd really like to make it configurable so that for our instance, it doesn't have full HTTP auth and so on.
So standing up an instance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, none of this stuff is necessarily that relevant to a Heroku deploy.
When you say this stuff, you mean the stuff that's in the README?
Yeah.
No,
Like,
indeed.
it tells you, oh, GitHub access token, which I think has been antiquated, right?
Well, maybe, but that's the part of what we would be doing here is looking at the sequence of things that you would do to set it up and then adjusting this so that it's kind of correct. But I mean, in principle, for somebody else setting it up, like if we look at the Heroku instance,
Right.
I think we do need to have. Oh, wait a sec. No, we don't need to have a GitHub access token, do we? Because
That's per project, right?
it's per project. But well, I think we might want it to be that way, but I don't know that it is yet.
I believe it is.
I believe that it is for Slack, but for GitHub,
Maybe it's not for GitHub.
Yeah. I mean, that's something we could move to, but actually, I mean, and I think ultimately, if like this is an open source project and people are just going to be setting this up all over the world, I mean, whether that ever happens is another matter. Like, we don't want them all relying upon our GitHub access token, and I guess it's then, it's like for scaling. Do you want the student, like, assuming that the model for using this is a group of TAs and TA's got some, they're configuring it for the students. Do they want to have to put in a different GitHub access token for each project, or are they just going to create their one GitHub access token for their instance? I think they're in the first instance, and since that's the way it is, that's probably sensible to leave it like that for the moment. Would you agree?
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, I guess here, like.
So what I'll do is
Go on.
let's check. Do we need?
Do you want to share your screen so we can?
Sure.
Thanks.
Right. So how do I get the URL? It's right here. Get remote. So I could do git push.
Berkeley master.
And then it'll try to compile the slug and everything. Right?
Oh, so you created the instance through the web interface, because
Yes.
you could have created it through the command
But then
line.
I would have to figure out how to tell it to create it under under Agile Ventures.
Oh, okay.
So defaults to creating it under my personal account.
Fair enough.
And they're gonna, I mean, I assume they're gonna want this dyno to run constantly, right?
We will see.
Okay. Project scope says 169. Okay. Look under resources now. What do we get? Right. So we're on a hobby dyno. $7.
Right. That's interesting.
Maybe if I edit this. No.
That's interesting that it's.
Huh.
I wonder if they've.
Admin, so the app owner can change app tiers.
Oh, okay. Maybe I should look there at the.
See what it tells you. Because there's that other type of dyno that's just like the free tier, right?
I thought there was. Yeah. Maybe they're not creating it that by default at the moment. And I did you not have admin status on all of this? Let's have a look over here. So I've gone to project CS169. Yeah, dyno configure dynos.
It just cancels it, but yeah.
I was clicking the edit button there.
Yeah, but
right. Okay. Change.
huh.
Huh. Have they got rid of their free tier? Hmm.
I mean, it still says free, right?
Free services will continue to be a key part of today. We're announcing. So.
What?
No, I was saying. I mean. Yeah, I mean it's there doesn't. I mean, previously the dynotypes had another column in there with something lower. So I don't know. Anyway, I mean, I would follow through with the deploy.
Once you file a ticket for it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm tempted to look at some of our other instances.
I think everything has been.
So, I mean, here's like just a random. I don't even know what that is. That's, I guess, from. And then configure dynos. Yeah, see, that says 0 there.
Yeah, it says upgrade to hobby.
Right. I wonder, did you somehow, when you created it, select a particular level of thing you can't downgrade now, perhaps?
No. It's not in the options at all.
Like if we do new, create new app. Yeah, presumably this was the screen that you just went through.
Yeah.
Huh.
There's no op. I would file a ticket with them.
Yeah, I will. Okay. Would you want to carry on?
So we're gonna have that running, right? Presumably.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can turn it. We can turn it on as necessary. That's the thing, they have to like force me through the rest of their system. Choosing the right. Okay, put notes. Yeah, free is 0, then hobby is 7. Heroku, downgrade from hobby to free.
What are you saying?
I mean, I think I'm still going to want to go back to just the support thing.
Oh, maybe you can do it from the command line?
Right. Heroku.
Maybe I'll try that. Let's see. Heroku, PS scale, web, 0, hobby.
Right, we don't want a hobby, we want free.
Right, I'm scaling the dynos down on the web to that, and then free. Scaling dynos, you do not have permission to manage on project scope CS169.
Okay, so maybe I need to do that. Do you want to put the thing into put that into the chat window, and I like
gave me that error. Maybe they're saying you're naughty. You can't do that because it would make us lose money.
Maybe, or maybe you don't have. But so what I need is, rather than that command, can I mean I can get, but what I need is the
get.
Yeah, which I've got now. So git remote adds Berkeley that, and then I would do this. Now, but what were you doing that also? So that needs to be like against the Berkeley instance. If you just run that command, it'll try and do it against some default thing. And it says Heroku teams only support hobby and professional dynos.
Interesting.
So I think maybe it needs to be created as an independent one and then transferred, maybe. This may be a new thing specifically to Heroku teams. I mean, I create them locally. I mean, I guess they may have introduced a new thing on oh god,
that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, we've got seems this is a new thing, maybe. Well, 20th of May. Well, I'm looking for this. Although none of these are really, yeah, good grief. Okay, I just got to find a link for John. I need to give him.
I want to delete that app then.
Right. Yeah, I wonder, or can I transfer ownership of it into, let me give this to John.
Transfer it to you.
Or something. Yeah, I mean, I should be able to do that myself. God. Okay.
Why don't you complain to their support? And tell them they're being naughty.
Okay, we've got, this is our app here. It now exists within Agile Ventures Limited. Let's have a look through here. What can we do with it? So overview, hobby dev. I mean, right. Because this is the level that used to be free. No. Right. Yeah, see, anyway, I certainly what I should do is add you as an admin. Access. Team members. Let's make you an admin so that you don't encounter those problems again. So we've got the team. Go back to here. Settings. So for customers, select a new owner. If I just transfer it to myself, okay, so then, assuming that that's taken and it's now on there, if I want to configure the dynos, now let's configure the dynos. Right. I now have free as an option. I can switch that back on, and it's on free. We have the option to upgrade a hobby, and I can now, can I select a new owner, transfer that to Azure Ventures. So I suspect that probably the sequence the sequence that might have been faster was if you'd done Heroku create and then PS CS169.
Okay. So when you get it back on, so you've retransferred it back, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I transferred it back, so it's now in Azure Ventures. And but let's have a look there. Well, okay, and it's now put it up to $7.
Yeah, they're saying if you want a hobby done, if you want to be in your team, then
Okay, so that's a new. Now that's what's interesting there is that I've got lots of things that are in Agile Ventures that are like legacy on that old,
yeah,
thing, but so they're not allowing us to bring
new stuff.
into the teams without having this, that, and the other. That's irritating. I think Joao is watching. Hey, Joao. Well, that's the kind of thing that we could. I mean, I think maybe the thing to do is to leave that there, because it's the kind of thing that we can defray to Armando, and he'll want it to be, probably on that level, and we can always move it to an individual owner if he says he can't afford that. So,
Right.
I think let's leave that as it is. So I guess it is as it is. So do you want to go on to the next step, which we were saying is to go through the rest of the deploy process?
Yeah. One other second. Oh, by the way, Unify Develop is running on a $7 tier, I think, too. The Project Unify.
Right.
You're getting charged $7 a month for that.
Yes, I haven't been receiving billing for that, but yes. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to carefully investigate the billing situation. I mean, it's one thing for them to make it, all the new things that have to go in there, but to take the existing ones and then start charging for them, that's another thing. At least, I mean, which billing is that? Now I've got to somehow find the right billing system. Anyway, yeah, you go ahead and go through the rest of the deploying. So you're looking at the Agile Ventures billing there yourself.
Yeah, it was saying that you got billed last month.
Yeah, I mean, I expecting to get billed because for certain things. But yeah, maybe we're going to have a spike. Let's have a look.
Spike. Oh, a spike in the billing price.
And in fact, yeah, it looks to me like we do have. I'm now getting billed for like Cadelia.
Really?
Crying out loud. Yeah. So basically, in June, they've they've increased the prices of these apps, and I just I wasn't aware of any notification about it, and that's I'm like $300 down.
Oh, well, I guess you need to
I need to speak.
activate Cordelia.
Well, I mean, I need to switch off the. I guess what I should certainly do is switch off all the dynos and then try. What's it? I mean, that's a bit.
And what's pets?
Oh, who knows?
Pet dev. You're getting charged $7 a month for that too.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently, that's Met Plus.
Right. Okay. Crying out loud. Okay.
Well, that was lucrative for Heroku.
Yeah. Okay, so bloody hell. So, well, I should make the notes for myself of things that I will have to do are complain to Heroku, switch off dynos.
They're not going to want to give you your money back, though.
No, but you know, I mean, generally in America, if you complain loudly enough, people will give you things. Damn. Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Joao. How are you doing?
Hello.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Not too bad. I mean, I'm a bit irritated to discover that I'm being charged a lot more by Heroku than I thought I was.
Yeah. I told you when I moved
Met Plus
the
onto
Met Plus to you, I told you that it would charge $7. I tried to move it back between me and you, and if you want the Met Plus for now, you can just move it back to me. So
the Met Plus one. I mean, that's a cost I'm kind of potentially willing to absorb. You know, to make things easier for us, in the idea that ultimately Met Plus might generate revenue either directly through people signing up for AV Premium or indirectly by Met Plus being a project. What I'm less excited to discover is that all of the other kind of grandfather legacy apps that are in there, I'm being charged $7 a time for all of those, and I mean they may have notified me, but it did not, you know, it did not help. Yeah. So
yeah, I understand. It was pretty strange when I moved them.
Yeah.
When I moved them to you, I start seeing money and I try to move it back. There's no option. So,
right, and
it
yeah,
doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, and you did say that at the time, and I didn't. I wasn't particularly picking up on that as having an impact on the rest of everything else, because we do, you know, we upgraded website one explicitly to be on the higher tier to better support the move. So I'm expecting to be charged for that, but yeah. So there we go.
Okay.
I'm going to go through and just scale down Camellia.
Oh, you can do that for me? Oh, cool. All right, well, give me.
Using that, right?
Yeah, you can now do that. I'm going to go through and hi, Heroku.
Hi, Heroku, you remodel.
Yeah, well, you can see what I'm saying. You've given us great service over years, but I am surprised and alarmed to find that all the existing apps in our Agile Ventures team are suddenly being charged for. I totally understand. You want to charge for the team apps, We were early beta testers.
Should I turn off Take Me Away?
Turn off which one, sorry?
Take Me Away, develop.
Yes. There's a bit of feedback from Joe. I'm just going to mute you briefly there. Early beta testers and had several $0 apps in there for a long time. I don't remember receiving any notification about this change. We are a charity and have very little funds. I would be most grateful if we could work out a refund of the costs accrued since June when you started charging. We are in the process of shutting down all the apps. We are happy for certain specific apps to remain in the many thanks in advance. Joseph, co-founder and chair of board of trustees, ventures, the apps that were not are not system critical.
Snow Angels, that's being used.
I think that one we should probably shut it down for the minute.
I guess that's a way of figuring out whether it's being used.
Yeah, I mean it's not being used as far as I know. I mean it's a project we're referencing it in the static website, but I don't think we're linking to it directly, and it's not really intended to be linked to directly. So I think certainly until we've worked out what happens with Heroku, we should shut it down. If we need to start it up, we can bring it into.
What about Unified Develop?
I would in the first instance shut it down.
Okay.
And we can negotiate with Thomas about whether that comes back up on there or where it goes.
Okay. Website 1 develop. Obviously, we need to keep that, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
All right, so I've shut down everything but website 1, pets dev, local support, agile blog, AV certificates, agile bot.
Right.
Oh, and project scope, which we're gonna work on right now.
Okay. Right. Excellent. Thank you for doing that. All right. Well, I've posted these things with Heroku. We'll see what they say. Yeah, maybe you can carry on with.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Right.
Well, I guess it was fruitful to do this.
Well, it's good. It's certainly good to have that information. Okay, I'll just put that in project support maybe here. Channel. info channel. No, we just discovered that Heroku started charging $7 a month for all our apps in the AV group. We've shut below down. We let me have a look at the list of. So that invoice, and we can see. So we've got AgileBot staging. Agile Ventures block is the ghost thing. Right. In particular.
So you actually got this working on another instance, right? Thing.
Yeah, I put it on staging.
I'm getting a lot of issues with.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I think that there's that encrypted file.
Okay.
And so there's an encrypted key that probably has to be set in the Heroku thing. There's a Figaro if you read the README,
okay,
there's description of this key configuration step.
You can set up the GitHub key, right? The token.
Well, it's more than that, because what we've got in this one is we're using Access encrypted, so that this for project scope. When you configure a project, you can be adding quite sensitive information like your Slack token API key and so on. And so we've actually got an extra layer of encryption on the database, and that has to be kind of set up to do it. So, I think if you see down there, so have you got application.yaml locally on your machine, Michael?
no.
So you might need. Well, I think you. It's.
I probably shouldn't.
Well, you've got the. I mean, that's the encrypted one. That doesn't matter. I don't think. But so, yeah, there's a process now where
Oh, Armando gave me the secret, I think, in chat.
Yeah. That's right. I think I've hard coded it so that develop and test will run automatically. Yeah.
So, given the secret, what do I do with it?
Well, I think if you follow those instructions that are in the README, and this is then the acid test, is do the instructions make sense and will they work?
Mm-hmm.
So it's about, I think that on your local machine for development, that's not true anymore, right? Because I hard coded it, so you don't have to do that for development, so that people without the key can do development. With the CI we've done, but so it says in production, first create the config application.yaml file locally, as above as you would do there. You've got to decrypt the existing one there.
Right. It says I'd have to do it the same way.
Yeah, and then run, and the Figaro will then allow you to export that.
Heroku.
Yeah, I mean it can be set relatively easily through the interface, but anyway, we shut down Unify Develop, and no, I've forgotten her name. Who is this No Angels woman? Remini Jicket.
Oh wait, I don't have GPG.
Yeah, so you may have to. I mean, that was then the painful aspects of this process was getting set up with was in well, I mean not that painful, but that you can see in my post to Armando through the issues of like, here's all the stuff that I had to do, and he was like, whoa, that shouldn't be so complicated for you because we've done it lots and lots of times. I mean, I think it comes back to this thing is if you have, you know, and there was actually a fairly complex process of, or at least an involved process
Should
of.
I do homebrew?
Yeah, I mean, the thing to potentially look at is, now I wonder if I can quickly find it, is this in the project scope, MVP, there was an issue, did I have it in here about the, can I find, what was it, GPG?
Yeah.
No, is it GPG or single words? That should find all the pull requests as well. Where was the discussion then if it's not? Oh, here we go. Yeah. So if you, like, my complete description of getting this working is in the comments on this pull request here.
I mean, you don't go through how to get GPG, so that's my first.
Well, yeah, sorry, yeah, I think it was Brew. That was Brew installed GPG. I was remembering the additional set of other stuff that I had to do.
Yeah, GPG, yeah.
Yeah, so there was then, I mean, I found I had to do this when I tried to run the command that Armando specified. I then had to generate a key and fill out various information before ultimately getting it to work.
Which command in particular?
This one here, GPG minus, but you need GPG installed.
No, it just worked for me.
This command?
Yes.
Well, maybe that just means that you have the appropriate kind of key available already, that you generated that, or some system that was generated on your system before. So if that's the case, then that's good. That would reinforce what Armando was saying about it's not usually that complicated.
Let me see.
So you did not get this error. So yeah, you've installed GPG and you've been able to run this, the passphrase.
It generated a encrypted a key, an application.yaml with a key in it.
Right. So if application.yaml is generated, then you should be able to run that Figaro command, which will put that value on the Heroku instance.
That production will be Berkeley.
Yes, or the remote will be Berkeley. I mean, the challenge there, I think, with the application, having created the application.yaml, and this is why I ended up accidentally checking it in the previous, is if you now change branches, right? The branch that you're, I mean, it should be all right now.
Because
okay, it's running. Go on.
The thing's running now. It's responding to requests.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Yeah. So, and in fact, yeah. Now that the application.yaml is in the .git ignore in the main thing, it doesn't matter. Like I was caught at
that.
Go on.
I need to set the password, right?
Yeah, the HTTP auth. Yes.
You want to send me that in Slack?
Well, I wonder if we want to use something that's like slightly easier for them to remember. I mean, Armando says he didn't care as long as it's. I mean, if you look at the other project scope instances, you can just use that same value there and then send that to. Well, ultimately, we'll send it to Armando.
I don't have access to that because I think you did them in your own account.
Ah, okay. Well, in that case, right. I guess that's partly why I haven't noticed this because I've been, yeah.
And what's the key supposed to be?
I will tell you momentarily.
No, I mean, never mind. I'm gonna look.
I mean the key value. I mean the key as opposed to the value thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I will see it momentarily when I reveal the config files over here. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at your project scope. I want to go to project scope MVP. Okay, it's time for the Scrum. Oh, good lord. It's called project scope underscore password in all caps.
Project scope, one word,
Yes.
underscore password.
Yeah. And
The key, the actual value on the Slack.
yeah, it's in Slack.
Okay, and then the only other thing we would need to set up is the GitHub, right?
Right.
Are we going to use a key from us or from Armando?
Well, I think given that we don't have one from Armando at the moment, it probably makes sense to set one up.
Right.
And then
You have one?
and then we can pester him about setting his own one up subsequently. I mean, do I have one? Yeah, I guess. The GitHub underscore access token. There you go. There's one.
GitHub underscore access underscore token, like 3 words.
Yeah. I mean, we should get them to put on a separate one so that we don't end up going over the limit from the once we set the. I mean, I'll have to. I should put that in a project MVP. Let's put that in as a chore. Issues, new issue, need GitHub token from Berkeley to avoid having key. Okay. Well, I'm just going to stop the broadcast there and create the Scrum.
Can I power down that instance now?
Which instance is that?
The project CS169, or just keep it up?
Leave it up because we should. The other thing to do is we need to configure a project on it and run a sample to check that all works. I mean, fingers crossed it all will, but we should double check that.
Okay.
Okay. I'll see you in the Scrum in a bit.